You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie. I'm a United States Special Forces widow. This gives me a unique perspective on the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View.
All right, it's Jessie. How y'all doing out there today? Yes, I miss you when we're not talking. All right, before I get the show started, I've got an announcement. My favorite recurring guest, and based on feedback, your favorite recurring guest, none other than Justin Kinney. Some of you have nicknamed him Doctor of Terror, will be joining us live right here on KLRNRadio.com tomorrow night. He's even said he's going to hang out in the chat room. Score! Now, in case you can't tell by my voice tonight, I am losing my voice. So it may be mostly Justin doing the talking tonight, but that could be cool. I keep encouraging him to do a full hour, so this just might be his shot. Who knows? And yes, I am losing my voice. But I do my best, and we move on. All right. Yes, I have some show prep. I do want to say, thankfully, we are not ending the show on taps. And in my mind, any night I'm not ending on taps is a good night. So I thank all of you that tune in. And yes, I love it when you tune in just for me, but please, bring a friend tomorrow night. Because Justin is a rare treat. He really is. He has a background in psychology, so he can explain to you why the bad guys do what they do. He understands a lot of things I don't. I can't tell you how many times I have reached out to him off air going, how do I explain this? Now, we will get to Korea because, of course, with China sending their special envoy, it's a hot topic. But I got a couple other things I want to update you on before we get there. Because, truly, the way my voice is acting, I don't know what I'll be like tomorrow night. So I don't know what my voice will be like. Now, we all know that President Trump was recently in the Asia-Pacific region. We all know that that region is fraught with chaos. We all know that nothing in that region is easy. So I'm not going to let it take up my entire show tonight. I know some nights it might as well be a North Korean tirade and not much else. But I do try not to focus exclusively on the Republic of Korea, North or South. Because, well, there are other regions in the world, and I do like to cover them. So we're going to kick off the night with a region I probably don't spend as much time on as I should. So and that would be Israel. I don't talk enough about Eretz Yisrael. Now, for those of you who are new listeners, I'm Jewish. I admit that publicly on air because I need you to know it. Because it does color how I cover the country from time to time. America may be my country of birth and the country where I live. But there are two flags in my house, although none is higher or larger or in a more prominent location than the American flag. I do have an Israeli flag in my house. And I have no issue mentioning that. So there is a lot going on in Israel, and I want to make sure I don't completely blow it off. Because it is an important region. It's the only true democracy. In the Middle East. It is a very special place, and it is about the size of the state of New Jersey, which means that it's a very small country. It's not the smallest in the world, but it is smaller. Now, people are always saying, well, they need to give back the land they won in the 1967 war. When's the last time any country gave back land they won in a war? It's been a while. It's been a real while. Now, let's talk about Israel and Hezbollah. And just to connect the dots, Hezbollah is funded by none other than Iran. And tensions between Israel and its northern neighbors are on the rise again. And that means there's the possibility of a confrontation between Hezbollah and Israel. Now on Thursday of last week, because it isn't Thursday yet, Syria accused Israel of acting improperly. Well, no offense, folks, I could have written that press release. Syria is always accusing Israel of something. That's like when North Korea shoots off a missile and the usual suspects condemn it. Come on, folks. We all could write that one. Especially if you're a regular listener to my show. Alright, so moving right along. Why do I... Okay, so we have the resignation of the Lebanese Prime Minister Saad Hariri, and that's a divide in the Israeli-Arab alliance. It's a regional divide, and Israel could work on exploiting it in the event of a military confrontation with Lebanon. Now, I'm not sure that this is going to be a direct confrontation between Iran and Israel, but it will certainly be a proxy war. Let's not forget that Hariri issued his statement from Riyadh, the capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And Hariri blamed his resignation on Iranian meddling in Lebanese affairs by backing Hezbollah. Now, Hezbollah is in southern Lebanon, which puts them on the northern Israeli border. Hezbollah has managed to impose many things on Lebanon, and it's no secret that they are funded by Iran. Iran pours blood, sweat, and treasure into the funding of this terrorist group. And I don't know what else to call them. Hezbollah is a terrorist group. Now, many observers equate Hariri's resignation with an imminent Israeli attack on Lebanon. But that is same song's second verse in the region. And Hezbollah has been growing in prominence in Lebanon. We won't even get into Iran's meddling in Yemen, which everybody realizes at this point is a failed state. Now, do I have a crystal ball? Of course not. However, Hezbollah versus Israel would be a proxy war. And Hezbollah is putting people's lives in danger by their actions. They claim they're not a proxy, but everybody who knows the region knows they are. So, it's one of those, there's not a whole lot we can say on it. It is what it is. Now, before I get off the Middle East, there are a couple other things I wanted to bring up. This isn't the only story in the Middle East, and I haven't spent a lot of time discussing it. There's the blockade in Qatar. Yes, that is still going on. It is in its 4th month. Yes, its 4th month. However, Turkish Prime Minister Erdogan arrived in Qatar to attend the third meeting of the Turkish-Qatari Strategic Committee. Now, Qatar is accusing the UAE of attempting to weaken its currency. And Bahrain is charging Qataris with 3 people in Bahrain have been charged with espionage for colluding with Qatar. So, and Qatar Airways is not going to attend the Middle East's largest international air show due to open in Dubai because of this crisis. So this is affecting a lot of things. And one of the UAE's singers, and I'm not even going to go into the name because it's not relevant, has even put out a song aired on television in the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, threatening Qatar. And the song is called Tell Qatar. It criticizes Qatar's policies and warns it against crossing into danger. I mean, this is how much is going on. And Bahrain's Ministry of the Interior announced on Sunday that Bahrainians and Qatar should use their passports to move between Bahrain and Qatar, and they can no longer use their national ID, which is the case with some of the other countries in the region because they have agreements. So that's quite a bit going on. And of course, in August when the blockade started, and this blockade was imposed on Qatar by Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and the United Arab Emirates, and it was a land, sea, and air blockade. Now, most successful is the land. The air is the least successful, except they can't overfly certain countries' airspaces anymore. Now, why am I bringing Qatar up? Well, this has to do with one of the countries that blocked it, Saudi Arabia. Crown Prince Salman. He is consolidating power. And he was named next in line for the throne by his father last June. Now, we had dozens of senior Saudi officials and princes and all the like rounded up, allegedly in a corruption crackdown. They were imprisoned, quote unquote, in none other than the Ritz-Carlton. Okay, since when is the Ritz-Carlton a prison? I don't know. But evidently, in this case, it is. Now, like I said, there's a lot going on in this region, and I do apologize if I'm a little hard to hear tonight. I'm doing my best to bring you the best show I can. So, this Crown Prince is essentially riding roughshod. And the fact that another country's prime minister announced his resignation from the capital of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So, Lebanon's prime minister announced his resignation from Saudi Arabia, indicates that Lebanon may be up to something, or Saudi may be up to something. when it comes to dealing with Lebanon. How one country forces a member of a government in another country to step down is entirely unknown to me. Now, the Crown Prince has pledged to overhaul the economy of Saudi Arabia by weaning it off its heavy reliance on oil. And he wants to rid the kingdom of systemic corruption and quote-unquote moderate a society that has long been influenced by religious hardliners. Now, the religious hardliners aspect is definitely true, because Saudi Arabia is the home of Wahhabism. Wahhabi Islam has brought us such notable groups as Al-Qaeda, Daesh or ISIS, and the Taliban. There may be a little more to it, but yeah. And people are already comparing Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince, to Vladimir Putin. And Saudi Arabia is already calling Iran the #1 state sponsor of terror, which that tells you what side of the coin they fall on. And they have accused Iran of direct military aggression through the Houthi rebels in Yemen. Let's touch on Yemen for just a moment. The Crown Prince was appointed defense minister in January 2015. He launched something called Operation Decisive Storm. Please do not confuse this with Operation Desert Storm. This was called Decisive Storm. Decisive. It was a Saudi-led coalition in Yemen against the Houthi rebels that control much of the failed state of Yemen. And I know I'm droning on, but I am getting somewhere, I promise. Now, so you got the Houthis in control of Yemen. The Yemenis government is essentially out of the picture. I mean, they control the capital, Sana'a, and areas in the north. Yemeni civilians are the ones suffering. The country's on the brink of famine and in the middle of a cholera outbreak. So you've got Saudi that tried to right the Yemeni ship, and essentially they probably failed. Now, some people are saying that Saad Hariri, the Prime Minister of Lebanon, is a prisoner in Riyadh. It's been a week since Hariri appeared on Saudi television, and his resignation has not been accepted unless he delivers it in person on Lebanese soil. All the political parties in Lebanon have asked for the return of the Prime Minister. The Sunni community has long complained of Iranian dominance in Lebanon. Now they're blaming their ally, Saudi Arabia, for robbing them of their leader. So this is a very interesting thing. And also, the Saudi Minister for Gulf Affairs warned this month that his government would deal with Lebanon as a hostile state as long as Hezbollah was part of the Lebanese government. And it is true, it is a fact that the Lebanese unity government that the Hariri formed a year ago includes Hezbollah members. So, Iran and Saudi are fighting proxy wars in the region from Syria to Yemen. Iran is Shia, Saudi Arabia is Sunni. Goes back to religion, kids. Now there's more to it than that. Iran has been called a state sponsor of terror for as long as I can remember. So, and even our own Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, and I don't have the audio for you, has weighed in on this issue. All right, folks, it is time to pay those radio station bills. And I will see you on the other side.
You can run away if you wanna. You can pretend that this is totally okay if you wanna. You can play dead if you wanna. Forget what they said if you wanna. Turn your back on the country needing you right now. But I don't wanna.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, But even then, he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Down if you wanna, you can run away if you wanna. You can pretend that this is totally okay if you wanna. You can play dead if you wanna. Forget what they said if you wanna. Turn your back on the country needing you right now, but I don't wanna.
Alright, thank y'all for hanging in there with me while we paid those radio station bills. Now, I am going to get back to discussing the Asia Pacific region after I cover one more story that I find intriguing. Zimbabwe. I don't know how much most of you know about this country. It is an African nation, and unfortunately this isn't a region I cover and have as much knowledge on as I'd like, but we're going to do our best. President Mugabe, who leads the ruling party in Zimbabwe, is safe according to an army spokesman. But Mugabe is supposedly also under house arrest. The army has taken over, but denies a coup. And it's unclear what's going on in this African nation. Now, South African President Jacob Zuma said he talked to Mugabe, who told him he is safe but confined to his home. This is the way these things start. This is the way these things start in these nations. The military has seized control of the state television, blocked off access to government offices in the capital, Harare. In a televised address early on Wednesday morning, a military spokesman said the army was seeking to pacify a degenerating social and economic situation in the country. Major General Moyo, M-O-Y-O, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, denied that the army was carrying out a coup against Mugabe and said the leader and his family were safe and sound and their safety was guaranteed. However, the army did state they were targeting criminals around him who were committing crimes and causing social and economic suffering in the country in order to bring them to justice. Okay, I don't know what passes for justice in Zimbabwe, but I'm gonna guess it's not what passes for justice in this country. Tanks now surround the parliamentary and presidential buildings. The army spokesman said that once the military's objectives had been achieved, the situation in the country would return to normal, and urged Zimbabweans to continue with their lives as usual. The general also called on political parties to discourage their members from turning to violence. Now, this reads like a coup to me. The president is locked in his house. The streets are empty. People aren't going to work out of fear. And it was an hour and a half after business normally starts when a few people started trickling in and into the streets. Now, for most people, the first place they went was the bank. And a local cell phone store owner told reporters he feared clashes between soldiers and Mugabe loyalists would break out. He fears for his business. His family depends on it for their survival. Another member of the opposition movement for democracy and change said they've never trusted the military. They've stood by Mugabe for years. Mugabe has been the only leader this nation has known since it gained its independence. And that is a scary process. I mean, I'm sorry. Now, the military did call on Parliament, saying their legislative role is paramount importance for peace and stability, and wanted the people to remain calm. They did call for prayer. They did so many other things. Now, they did cancel all the military in Zimbabwe. Your leave's been canceled. And they basically instituted a nationwide recall. So what's going on? I'm not sure anybody knows. This isn't a place where there's a journalist on every corner. I mean, Mugabe led the fight for Zimbabwe's independence in the 70s. He's 93 years old. Some people blame him for a long litany of woes, including unemployment, poverty, and an acute cash shortage. Other people view him as their savior. It is an uncertain future. What's going to happen, I don't know. And unfortunately, house arrest is often a precursor to execution in these countries. Sorry, folks. All right, now let's get on to what you normally hear from me. Yes, that is the show prep sound you've been waiting to hear. Not that this has been done without plenty of show prep, but I hadn't let you hear it. China's President Xi Jinping is sending a special envoy to visit North Korea this week. Now, ties between China and North Korea aren't what they once were. Ties between China and North Korea have kind of hit a snag because China is viewing North Korea as possible trouble because they refuse to back down on their nuclear missiles. And China is faced with, in some cases, their banks having to choose between doing business with North Korea and doing business with the United States. And yes, there are many Chinese banks that do business with the United States. Now, this isn't to say that they're going to succeed. This isn't to say that everything's going to be all right. This is one of those things of, we don't know what's going on. We don't know truly how much sway China has over North Korea at this point. And that's just a fact. We don't know. There's no way to know. Now, let's get back to where I was going with this. So, Xi Jinping is sending an envoy to meet with Kim Jong-un. He probably won't get to meet with Kim Jong-un, but he will probably meet with... He's scheduled to meet with Vice Foreign Minister Liu Zhenhim. And that's the Chinese official, the Vice Foreign Minister. China has been working on mending ties after the 19th Party Congress. However, we don't know if, China views North Korea as a buffer. China views North Korea as not having the United States on its borders. China views North Korea as many things. But unfortunately, until recently, I will say this, China was fairly reliably able to control North Korea. Kim Jong-un has put a stop to that. He's more or less like, we're not listening anymore. We're doing what we want. So, it's very interesting to see how this will play out. Now, I've heard rumors that we told President Xi that we were going to back off in the South China Sea for a little while, which will essentially allow China to put a stronger foothold. Now, the country obviously in the middle of all this is South Korea. And we do have 25,000 plus troops stationed in South Korea. And I could play clips ad infinitum. Yes, I'm picking out a couple of them, but we're not going to go through my whole collection, because that would take the whole show. Maybe one of these nights I'll have to do it. Alright, if things actually get cuckoo, I promise we'll do it. Alright, remember when Trump called Kim Jong-un Rocket Man? Let's remind ourselves of how the North Korea responded on the floor of the United Nations.
Due to his lacking of basic common knowledge and proper sentiment, he tried to insult the supreme dignity of my country by referring it to a rocket. By doing so, however, he committed an irreversible mistake of making our rockets visit to the entire U.S. mainland inevitable all the more.
So, by insulting their leader, which Trump did again via tweet, by calling him fat and short or something to that effect, North Korea is saying that, yeah, they're going to launch rockets and missiles at us.
None other than Trump himself is on a suicide mission. In case innocent lives of the U.S. are harmed because of this suicide attack, Trump will be held totally responsible. The respected supreme leader of the DPRK, Comrade Kim Jong-un, stated, "As a man representing the DPRK and on behalf of the dignity and honor of my state and people and on my own, I will make the man holding the prerogative of the supreme command in the U.S. pay dearly for his speech calling for totally destroying the DPRK."
Now, just as a reminder, Trump didn't say we were definitely going to destroy the DPRK. He said if North Korea forces our hand, we were going to have no choice. Now, I do want to say one funny thing on this whole subject. Whoever is in charge of U.S. Strategic Command's Twitter feed goofed, either intentionally or on purpose. Don't know, but they goofed. Now, why do I say that? All right. Because they sent out a tweet that essentially said that we have secret silos for our nuclear warheads. And you can actually find them on Google. And that the B-1 bomber can drop nuclear bombs from the air. And the B-1 isn't the nuclear-capable bomber. So, like I said, although North Korea is already inclined to believe that the B-1 can carry and drop nuclear weapons. Who knows? Who knows? Was it a play to try and poke, as I'd call them, quackers? Or was it designed to just muddy the waters? Who knows? Either way, it was definitely a goof. Now, I will say that the nuclear triad seems just fine. I've heard no suspicions or rumors. And of course, that includes our submarines. So, now, it is an interesting thing that they tweeted out an article that said B-1s can drop the bomb. They can't. But like I said, it is an interesting fact that North Korea already thinks B-1s can. Now, of course, whether or not there are actual nuclear weapons on any submarine is classified. However, we do have a number of nuclear-capable ballistic missile submarines. And the USS Kentucky just completed an overhaul. And of course, the commander of the Kentucky says, it's part of their oath that they will execute the orders of the president when called on. So, like I said, alright, got one other thing that I meant to touch on and I got totally sidetracked. Totally went off the rails. Sorry, Rick, had to steal your line. One of the former negotiators with our deals with North Korea said even though the United States should seek South Korea's permission to strike North Korea, they're unlikely to do so. Now, of course, the South Korean people would like to be consulted because any action the United States takes would cause retaliation by North Korea against the South. But, of course, Secretary of Defense Mattis had said it would be game on if North Korea takes actions that directly threaten the United States or its allies. And of course, that means he didn't say he'd send an emissary to consult with the South Koreans to see whether we can adequately defend America and its interests. Now, military action without communicating its decision with Seoul probably wouldn't happen. But permission, first, may or may not. I'm going to say it depends on exactly what's attacked, exactly when, and exactly where. All right, folks, we are about out of time. I'm not screaming tonight, so I will see you folks tomorrow night with my favorite recurring guest, Justin Kinney, who I'm expecting to do the bulk of the show. On that note, I'm out of here.